Hey guys, it's me, and I'm back with my first movie review in about 2 months, and I'm pretty excited about it. If you saw my last video, then you'll know that I'm going to be trying to kickstart some movie and book reviews, but this time on YouTube instead of just blogging. So, with that being said, I thought, what's a good thing to start off with this little project I'm trying to take off? Well, I thought one of the earliest things that I ever reviewed was the 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. So I thought, you know what, I've got a lot of brand new stuff to say, so why not? How could I say no to this choice? So, a little small bit of background. I've been a Ninja Turtle fan for about 8 years now. I really started getting into them around high school because a lot of brand new fears were etched onto me, and I was trying to look for something new to watch, something to distract me from all the fears I was having, and the Ninja Turtles really fit the bill, and this is the 1987 one if you're wondering. And that was because I really liked the relationships that were able to develop between the Turtles and the human characters, such as April, Irma, and Zack. And that's because the Turtles managed to do everything they can to protect the world, even though the world doesn't really understand them, and is honestly kind of terrified of them, all things considered. And the message that it can really bring is that no matter how different you may be from the rest of the world, there's always someone out there for you. How it basically is there's an organized crime wave around the Big Apple, but it's very quiet and very stealthy, and police switchboards have been swamped. As April O'Neil, played by Judith Hoag, says, with complaints ranging from purse snatching to breaking and entering. And one day, April is almost the victim in one of these as she's walking out to her reporting van mid-robbery, but she's managed to be rescued by the Turtles. And then April gets really more committed to this case about the Foot Clan. Then the Foot Clan really begins to target her more often, and then when a second rescue takes place, Raphael decides to lead her to the Turtles' lair in the New York sewers because there's no other way to escape from those who are attacking her. And so basically, this movie is a redoing of how the Turtles first met April, and then once April is properly acquainted with the Turtles as well as their master Splinter, they realize that this is a turf war that is never going to just end by a handshake. It ends when one of the teams surrenders, and the Foot Clan has a lot of teenagers on their board. A lot of runaways, a lot of delinquents, or just those sort of teenagers by definition. And you know, my favorite thing about this movie is how it talks about the regular lives of troubled teenagers. Now, I didn't go to university for psychology, but I know that a lot of teenagers are very scared and confused about the world because as they transition into this age from kids, they realize that a lot of their dreams are not going to come true, and the world is a place that demands a lot more responsibilities from them, and they want a balance of protection and freedom from their parents and guardians, but at the same time, they aren't sure if they trust the people in charge of them to understand the desires they have to try to see what they can get away with as they explore this brand new world of theirs. And one of the teenagers, Danny, played by Michael Turney, who's actually April's boss, he's the best character in my opinion because he really displays this sort of troubled teen. Someone who's not a bad guy but just makes bad decisions based on what he is told because he thinks that they understand him, and he thinks his father, who's kind of strict from what little we see of him, just doesn't understand him, he thinks. I really think that that was a daring thing to do because the Turtles were still very fresh and new, and even though it was an action-packed and funny show, this movie, it really was willing to be very dark. And I think I really appreciated that, especially since I think that it was the right choice. Because when you transition from cartoon to live action, there are loads of things that can get in the way, such as atmosphere, the laws of physics, and when you go into realism, maybe there's a feature that really sticks out. And also, filmgoers have to be under the pressure of fans who will be very strict about something being just right in their eyes. And so I feel that this transition and becoming a little bit more tender in the subject of the lives of teenagers, it really, really worked for me. And as for the puppetry, I know that there are some filmgoers who feel that this film hasn't aged well, but honestly, when you think about how much CGI was at a bare minimum in 1990, as well as how there was a lot of puppetry that was just kind of either bad or Muppets level basic, which was fine as that, of all the animatronics that they made, they looked like how you'd expect a turtle to be in live action without losing the cuteness and innocence from the cartoon. They really blended it well. I also really liked how caring and loving Master Splinter was. He didn't really shove his beliefs of peace down the throats of his sons. He just made sure that he understood that he cared about all of them and he wished that nothing bad would happen to them and that they have the ability to be great ninjas and also just be proper heroes. Now, sometimes there is a bit of goofiness that doesn't quite end up being as funny as we think. I guess it can be kind of hard to mesh the ideas of darkness and goofiness together. When the turtles are singing and dancing involving pizza or just having a blast with it, it's not as enjoyable or as funny as you might think. But, I mean, still, the movie overall is just very good. For anyone who thinks that it would be just a trash heap, they would be really surprised at how layered this movie really is. For instance, at the campfire scene, when the turtles meditate and can hear Master Splinter's voice and we see his face in the fire pit. A minute ago, one of the turtles had some marshmallows, so you'd think that it would take them a little longer to really take this completely seriously, and yet for some reason, this moment meant to be heartwarming by the fire pit, it really works because the turtles really know that maybe they'll never see their father again, and that really rubbed me the right way, the attitude that they gave. So overall, I feel that this is a pretty good Ninja Turtles movie. I feel that it was more than good enough to give confidence to the studios to make the sequels that they made, and to show that the Turtles can work across all sorts of dimensions. So my grade is a B+. And so I'm going to be reviewing a book now, and pretty soon, as soon as I can, I'm going to be reviewing the other Ninja Turtle movies. I hope you can stick around for those, and I hope you really enjoyed the video. And I'd love to hear what your favorite Ninja Turtle movie is out of the bunch. Okay, see ya!